Hello folks, my name's Chris Wharton and I'm coming to you from Nottinghamshire, England, Robin Hood country, and today I'm going to be reviewing an honest customer review of the Hoka Hoka Challenger ATR 2 trainers, running shoes. They're probably about 2 years old. I thought I'd give you an honest customer review because a lot of the time the only reviews you get that you see are on the manufacturer's websites or retail websites, and I sometimes think they're not so accurate. People tend to put on a review as soon as they've bought these items, sports gear, whatever, without actually giving them a test drive, so to speak, without really seeing what they're like. They're just purely giving them a review on how they look as soon as they've got them out the box. Well, I've had these shoes, these trainers, running shoes, for about a year now, and the thing that attracted me to these was the nice chunky soles. As you can see, they're like flipping pontoons. They're really wide, and because I've got quite weak ankles, I need quite a wide-soled running shoe. So the midsole here is, it's very wide, and that's great for me because, like I say, I've got weak ankles, and perhaps anyone out there who's got weak ankles, this might be good for you. I mean, a lot of shoes, running shoes or trainers, they're kind of shaped like this. They've got the instep kind of cut out, but for me, this is what attracted me to them: is the wide midsole and the chunky sole itself. I mean, look at the size of those things. I mean, that is approximately, I don't know, maybe 2 inches at the back end there, which is about maybe 5 centimeters in metric. So yeah, that was the thing that attracted me to them, and I must say they are fantastic running shoes. I don't do much running. Well, I say that I run about 3 kilometers 3 times a week, so 9 kilometers a week, and I run on an incline on a treadmill. I try not to run too far and too fast. I tend to run more incline running because I'm close to 51, and I want my knees to last. But let me just quickly give you a review of them. Yeah, like I say, the soles are really good on these. They're fantastic, actually. They've got some incredible bounce on them, and it's almost like you're on cushions when you're running. So they are really great for the soles. Now, obviously, running shoes just aren't the soles themselves, but these are fantastic, I must say. I think an average pair of trainers, the manufacturers probably won't tell you this, but you probably get about 300 miles out of a pair of trainers. That's probably what you'll get. I mean, you shouldn't really do it by time. I've had the trainers this long or whatever. You should really do it by how many miles you get out of them. And the manufacturers won't tell you, but it's roughly about 300 miles. So they're looking pretty good. I don't know how many miles I've had out of these so far. Like I say, I've had them for about a year, but I don't run long distances, so I've probably had maybe 100 miles out of them maximum, and they're standing up really well, so I'm happy with the soles. Okay, let's oh, got a dog over there. Say hello, Daisy. She just ran off. So anyway, let's move now to the uppers, and I'm not so impressed with the uppers as I am with the soles, so we'll look at that next. Like I say, this is an honest customer review for anyone who's thinking of buying Hoka Hoka trainers. I think they're a French company, actually, and they're not bad. They're not bad. I got them reduced for £65. I think they retail for probably double that, about 130. So I can't grumble so far. Right, let's look at the uppers. They've got this kind of mesh here. Now, it's the mesh uppers on the sides are very, very thick actually, and I think a little bit too thick. You might be able to see on the inside here, perhaps get some more light coming through. I can tell you one thing about these: they're very, very hot. Actually, I think they're too hot. There's no ventilation in these trainers whatsoever. I mean, you can have them on for 5 minutes and your feet are already boiling hot. So that is one downside of it. But other than that, I mean, they do look really funky. They've got a beautiful design. I mean, it's probably French design. The French are just brilliant at design. But like I say, they're very, very hot. There's no ventilation. They're probably the hottest trainers I've ever had. So that is something to bear in mind if you do buy Hoka Hoka in the future. You know, the ventilation on them, they are a very hot shoe. And I can tell you one thing: as soon as I get back from the gym, I've had my run, the first thing I do when I get home is I take these off straight away and I just put my Birkenstock sandals on and let my feet cool down, because sorry, they're very hot. Right, I'm not that impressed. Let's move to the mesh at the front. I mean, I've only had 100 miles probably out of them already, and as you can see here, where my finger's waggling at the front, they're starting to go already here. A hole is starting to appear. I don't know if you can see that. I'll actually point it out. Round about this mark here, you may not be able to capture it. I may not be able to capture it on film here. There's already a hole appearing here, and I think that's pretty poor, to be honest, only after 100 miles. I mean, I'm sure these manufacturers design trainers to be like this, you know. You've got the toe support at the front, but really the toe support for a good pair of trainers should come further down here, because they know your big toe is going to hit that point there. You don't want your big toe right at the end here, because they'll be too tight. You want your big toe roughly about this mark here, and that's where the limit is. If you, like I say, if your big toe's here, you're going to be pounding the end of the trainer every time. You want your big toe here and have that space to breathe. But manufacturers, for some reason, they'll never do your toe support going further, like a deeper toe support. And I think the reason behind this is because they want you to keep buying more and more of their trainers. It's always been one of the weak points, I think, with trainers. And I think it's a manufacturing thing. So, like I say, you come back and you buy more trainers. So it's just there and waggling it there. So I'm a bit disappointed with that. I know now that will start getting worse and worse, and I've got a feeling my toe will start coming through that in probably the next few weeks. And that's not going to be a good look, with your toe popping out the end of your trainer when you go into the gym. You're not going to look that cool at all. And it's just not good to you have your toes popping out of trainers. You want to keep everything in place. Okay, let's quickly move on. The laces. You may have seen one of my other reviews about Adidas, their lacing system. I didn't quite like. I like traditional laces, but I can say with these, they're not the best at all. The amount of times I've had to stop when I'm on the treadmill mid-run, which is frustrating when you really got to sweat up and you're going for it, and the laces have come done on these things, and it's happened so many times now to me that in the end now, before I go to the gym, I just double them up. I just double lace them, and that stops it. But yeah, they do come loose. They're not well designed at all. They're not high tech laces. Where some laces, you know, they'll have a like kind of a weird shape to them, almost like a snake. They'll go in and out, in and out, in and out, and thicker and thinner, and that's to stop them coming undone. Well, these don't do the job at all. And like I say, they're slippy and they will come loose. So just bearing that in mind if you do want to buy a pair of Hoka Hokas. It may be different for a different model. I'm not quite sure. I'm just giving you obviously a review for this model. So I'll give a score for these. I've had them a year. I've done about 100 miles in them. Soles absolutely brilliant. Can't fault them. That's what I bought them for. The uppers, they look fantastic. They're a cool looking shoe, but again here they're starting to breakdown here. I'm not impressed with that. If I'd paid £130 like the retail price, I wouldn't be too happy about that. And they are boiling hot. As soon as you put them on, they're boiling hot. So the ventilation side of it, it's not great at all. The laces, they come loose, so you have to double them up. But overall, you know, they're not bad. I paid £65 in British money. So based on the money I paid, I'd probably give them about 7 out of 10. But if I'd paid a lot more money, I wouldn't be that impressed. But anyway, that's an honest customer review of the Hoka Hoka Challenge ATR 2. For those who are thinking of buying Hoka Hoka in the future, I hope you take some of that on board. Like I say, I'm just here to do an honest customer review. I'm not here just to, you know, just to criticize. Well, I'm here to critique, you know, but I will obviously talk about the good points and the bad points, and, you know, just let you guys know, because it's a minefield out there before you buy something. And, you know, when you buy something online or anything really, you just want to get your value for money. So I'm doing these videos just so, you know, you've got an informed decision before you do part with your hard-earned cash. Right, my next review will be a pair of Merrell Kahuna sandals, and they are pretty good. I love them, and I'll give you a review of them soon. Thanks very much. Bye bye.